This Sportz Blitz podcast is brought to you by LMG. Grow your business through logo design, paper products, and video production. Visit leemarketing.net to learn more.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson with you. Joining us on the Dane Sharp hotline now is going to be Chuck Rounsaville. I hope I said that right, Chuck, from omspirit.com. He's going to be our Ole Miss insider tonight. Chuck, how are you doing?
Doing great, Luke. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks so much for being with us during our SEC preview. And tonight we're going to hit on the Ole Miss Rebels. We're starting to get into some teams now. I mean, you know, when you start doing your previews, of course, you start out with maybe some of your lesser teams. And Ole Miss used to be on that list. But you know what? After last year, I don't know that any team, maybe with the exception of Auburn, comes in with more expectations versus how they did last year than Ole Miss. I mean, they're sky high right now.
Yeah, the program, the direction of the program is really good right now. You know, he came in here and had a winning season his first year. Hugh Freeze, I'm talking about. He got the fan base behind him. He got all the players on the same page, and he followed that up with a fantastic recruiting year to just keep the momentum going. And I think every Rebel fan is looking forward to the 2013 season.
Okay, which Ole Miss Rebel upset the SEC schedule maker? Because when you face a daunting task 5 weeks in a row, at Texas, at Alabama, at Auburn, at home against A&M and LSU, all back-to-back. My goodness gracious, that's one of the toughest 5-game stretches I've ever seen.
Yeah, but you know, that's just life in the SEC. We're used to that, and everybody ends up with a murderer's row sooner or later, and this year is our year. You know, so it's a tough task, but you know, if you play in the SEC and you coach in the SEC, you expect that, and you know, you like challenges. Well, that's certainly challenging.
Well, is there any chance that Robert Kimdichie, maybe the most heralded recruit to come out in several years, will have a Jadeveon Clowney-type freshman year at Ole Miss, do you think?
Well, you know, I haven't seen him practice yet on this level, so it's hard to say, but he certainly has all the physical tools. We know that. And he's got the right approach. He's been here a month now, the first semester of summer school, and he's attacking the weight room like a veteran. He's excited about being here. He wants to prove himself quickly. And, you know, I mean, you can look on the videos on the internet and see that the guy's ultra-talented. So I would say, yes, there's a chance.
Okay, besides Robert Kimdichie, who do you think coming in this much ballyhooed recruiting class is going to make the next biggest impact?
I think you have to look at the need areas, and we certainly need defensive tackles, and we signed Levon Hooks, a junior college kid that was able to participate in spring training, and he did a good job. He didn't win a starting berth, but he's in the rotation, and our defensive line coach, Chris Kiffin, likes to rotate 9 to 10 defensive linemen. Levon Hooks is a big, powerful guy. I think he's a guy you got to keep your eye on because of his age and maturity, and that he was here in the spring. We need more depth at wide receiver, and I think number one wide receiver in the country, Laquan Treadwell, has hit the ground running, and I think that he will make an impact this year. And I also think a guy that was just declared academically eligible yesterday, Tony Connor, a 5-star safety from Batesville, we call it the University of South Panola over here, will certainly make an impact. I think they've got him penciled in to play what they call a husky, which is kind of a hybrid linebacker safety type position with a 4-2-5 look. So I think those are the guys you really have to keep your eyes on. But you never know until they get in here, and you can see them mixed in with the veterans who transitions well. But on paper, those are the guys, Luke.
Talk about the Ole Miss quarterback situation, and what do you expect production-wise out of that position next year?
Well, Bo Wallace went through shoulder surgery in the off season and missed all of spring training. He's back to throwing about 75% now. He's starting to put a little more zip on the ball. He's on schedule to be ready mid-July to start throwing some 7-on-7 on their own, and then he should be, barring no setbacks, he should be full speed when August practice comes around. And he's certainly our guy. He had a really fine year last year, other than too many interceptions. I think he accounted for over 3,000 yards through 30 touchdowns, I believe. I may be mistaken there, but had too many interceptions. And we're hoping that the experience that he gained last year will calm him down some in that area. He's a tremendous competitor. And I think Bo's going to do a really nice job this year, the second time around in the SEC.
Okay, I'm going to put Ole Miss's win total over-under at 6.5. You taking the over, you taking the under?
You know, it's a tough call because of that early schedule. If we stay healthy, I'm going to say over. But that's a murderer's row there that you discussed, and you never know. We were real fortunate last year health-wise. And if we can remain that fortunate this year, we should win some games. The problem is if we get beat up, we're not a deep team yet. And Freeze has preached that over and over to our alumni and on any radio show or whatever that will listen. We can't afford any catastrophic injuries to key personnel. But if we stay healthy, I'm going to take the over.
Well, Chuck, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Really do appreciate your being on with us. We're going to have you on again during the season, and we'll talk a little bit more Ole Miss Rebel or Ole Miss Black Bear, whatever. What would you prefer me to call you?
What do you mean?
You want to be an Ole Miss Rebel, you want to be an Ole Miss Black Bear?
No, we're the Rebels, man. Black Bear's just a mascot.
Okay, it's hard to tell what's going on either way, but we'll go with the Rebels and be done with that. I'm okay in saying that. I'm a big traditionalist, and I want to keep it that way. So, Chuck, thanks so much for being with us, and we'll have you on again, okay?
Sounds good, Luke. Thanks for having me.